If you look at it more in a way of each of you is offering up ideas. Sometimes you give, sometimes you take, sometimes you force, sometimes they force, sometimes you give in, sometimes they give in. Look at this, Annie's got an idea. I'm not giving her the idea to force me around. I'm gonna leave. Is she gonna follow? She might think about rolling because Gracie rolled there. Did she move my feet? We each have to convince each other of our ideas and work together. That's what a relationship is. If you're always trying to convince somebody of your idea, making it their idea, it's not a relationship. It's just constant coercion. We've got Gracie and Annie together working on a little bit today. Gracie's been pretty cool about a lot of stuff. Annie is her usual Annie self. Obviously, no trouble whatsoever. No worries. And the name of the game today is to be able to kind of send them and go around places without so much trouble and be able to herd up. So this is Liberty work. Perfect. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about this because there we go. Keep on going, Annie. Follow her. I'll come in behind a little bit. Just encourage a bit of movement and send her towards. I thought I'd talk about this herd behavior stuff. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so she's come towards me. And what this helps a lot, exercise isn't so much about how to drive them around per se. I mean, we do some driving, obviously, because we're sort of pushing them around a little bit. Watch out, Annie. Not the safest place to hang out next to. Annie knows better. I'm just going to back up and make a little space in case. And up. Shake. Another side, maybe. I'm going to wait for this to happen. Annie's going to want to roll there, I guess. So I guess we got to wait for her to. Not quite. As athletic as Gracie is, rolling over just isn't her thing. Instead of maybe twice in that time I've owned her. Okay, so they both left me. Now, when I hang out in here, I have a lot of times, a lot of intention, a lot of presence. I want to get 2 eyes and 2 ears if I can get it. I only have 1 eye. I want to be able to touch. I want to be able to draw. So sometimes when I get this, I just say, well, then get moving. And it's because now, okay, so it's a hard one to explain because a lot of times it looks like, or the concept that's been out there in the horse world is when you're not going to get what you want, you sort of send a horse on to go do something. But you see how she's drawing back to me? The idea that I have in my head is more of, come here. Good. Is more of a changing of mind. So if we think about how horses, if I go to try to touch Annie and she doesn't reach towards me as well or something like that, or she doesn't want to be touched, or she sort of looks away or doesn't kind of give in to this idea of just some friendly touches, just something friendly and kind, and a bit of a sort of a break. It's still pressure of some sort, but it's not like ascending pressure. So here we'll try again with Gracie and see if she has the mindset. But if she says to me, I've got a different idea, then I'll say, well, cool, then I've got a different idea too, and I want to do something different. Let's do that. Provide a little bit of that pressure. But the idea is that we're going, that was really good. Hello, Annie. That was actually perfect. The idea is that we want to say to them, look, we're both going to have ideas. My idea might be something, but then rather than try to just straight convince her of that, I just say, well, I changed my idea. And then she has another idea where she's going to be soft, and I'll be like, I like your idea. I'm going to go with that idea. And to a horse, that's really fantastic. It goes in line with this question that I've been getting on the second channel about making your idea their idea. And I like the idea more that where their idea becomes my idea. You know, I like, okay, well, I've got a different idea. Let's do something else. I'm actually totally fine with driving. I might say, hey, let's go. Totally fine with this. I think this is great. Let's get moving. I love walking. I like jogging too. I mean, not all the time. But they say to me, look, I've got a better idea. And at some point, they'll turn and they'll say, can you accept my idea? And he says, how about my idea? Want to be quiet with me? And I'll say, yeah, I actually really do want to be quiet with you. Thanks. Thanks for that offer. And I go with her, and here comes Gracie. She might be thinking of a roll. And I'll say, you know what? I've actually got an idea. I want to drive a little. I want to walk around together. I'm going to try to match my feet up with hers. And we get to go for a little walk together. It's fantastic. Now she's leaving. She says, I'm a little worried. Annie says, I'm not sure what we're doing. What are we doing? And I actually would say, nothing with Annie. I'm just thinking about Gracie right now. There. So she offers up a different idea. And I might say, well, how about this idea? Is this a good idea? What are we thinking about? I say, thanks. She says, you're very welcome. And so now I've taken on her idea of just being quiet. And I think it's an interesting way of looking at how to deal with horses in a way that isn't sort of the domineering concept that is prevalent in the horse world, where it just so happens, I'm kind of thinking about, I sure would like to be quiet, so maybe we'll kind of walk around, but I'm happy to be loud too. I'm happy to be kind of, well, I want to get some more practice at walking around with you too. Okay. She's looking over at Lena and Roni right now. So if I say to Annie, okay, Annie, can you draw towards me? This is my idea. Annie, can you please come with me? And she says, nah, I'm really busy looking at whatever Gracie's looking at, which is nothing. There's nothing over there. And so I might go up to her and say, hello, Annie, would you please, do you think maybe you'd want to? And she says, no. So there's no way that I'm going to get this to happen unless I had a cheat, which is the halter and lead rope. Or if I were to really, really work hard at being nice, I'd be like, okay, well, I'll give you some scratches here. And I might watch her face and she might say, oh, that feels so good. And then just as she's starting to feel something, I might step away a few steps. And then she'll come to me. But it doesn't mean that I've done anything to convince her of my idea. I've just created a trigger that is set to her brain. Oh, I better go hang out with that guy because he gives me scritchy scratches. So here she comes. Right? So it just so happens. And now her idea of getting scratched is my idea. So I find it very difficult to determine whose idea is whose idea at all. But I prefer to think about it in a way that I'm happy to do lots of different things. I'm happy with all kinds of ideas. If they do an idea that I'm really keen on, that I've been thinking about, then great. This is not the idea that I've been thinking about, so I'm actually not going to offer up an agreement to that idea. In fact, you know what? Let's go talk to Gracie. Let's send her. So a little hit on my leg, send her on. I say, I want to walk. Can we walk together? And keep my feet moving. Say, no, I don't actually want that idea. Your idea looks like it sucks. Cool. Now, I guess you could kind of say that this is my idea is her idea. But really, I've just given no other option at this point because I'm not taking another option. So it doesn't mean that anybody's idea is anybody's idea. This is your option. You've got this to do, and this is what we're doing. And I'm really trying to line up my feet with hers. Okay? And then I'm going to come over this way a little more and stop and cut. And here comes Annie. Okay? I say, that's great. Do you want to touch? She says, I want to nibble. No, you don't. But she's not very happy. She wants something else. How is she going to make her idea into my idea? Confusing, isn't it? That's why I really don't like the idea of making somebody's idea your idea or whatever. But if we look at it more, I believe that if we look at it more, as in we're both kind of offering up ideas, if if she were to continue to kind of just keep bringing that shoulder and keep bringing that butt in, then I would say, God, there's no other option hanging around with you other than to scratch you. You know, it's a form of coercion. You're going to do this. Yeah, I guess so. All right. I give in. I give up. Looks like this is what will make you happy. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. And then I'll stop. So these two are absolutely fun to work with. They both have great draw. Obviously, they both love good scratches. They're both a little bit playful with things. I'm gonna work on Annie's little possible nibbling habit. I've got another horse coming in here. She says, I'm just going to continue to convince you, or try to convince you, that you should scratch me. And then she left. So she says, well, I guess we're not into that. You're not going to do it. Isn't it interesting? It's, if we continue to sort of walk through and talk through how this idea thing works, you can see it in any way almost possible. Mm-hmm. But the perspective on how we work with horses can change. How you might see them and how it might be more symbiotic. It might be more doing something together rather than it just being your idea. Because if, no matter what, if my idea became their idea, it's because I really didn't give another option. So like, well, I guess we're doing that. And if the same thing they did to me, they kept coming around. So now I'm going to send. They don't have an option. It doesn't mean that my idea is their idea right now. This is what we're doing. We're going together as a herd, which brings back to the original part of this conversation, where I really want to be able to keep going, Annie. You don't have an option. Keep going. You came in close. Okay, Gracie, come back around and herd up. You don't have an option. Okay. These two are so snuggly when it comes to wandering in and being in. So that's cool. Thanks. Here, come here for a second. I don't want that. I want a different idea. Yeah. So something to ponder, a concept or an idea to think about. Does it make a difference? If you look at it more in a way of each of you is offering up ideas. Sometimes you give, sometimes you take, sometimes you force, sometimes they force, sometimes you give in, sometimes they give in. Look at this, Annie's got an idea. I'm not giving her the idea to force me around. I'm going to leave. Is she going to follow? She might think about rolling because Gracie rolled there. Yeah. Did she move my feet? Here comes Gracie. I'm going to back up. I'm actually going to try to do it in time with her feet. Am I leading? Am I drawing? Is she driving? Whose idea is this? I want to know these things, to be honest. I actually ask questions because I kind of want to know. So, good girl. Oh, come here. Come here. Come. I just want you to be in the habit of just taking a nice soft... She's like, yeah, but my ears, if you would just scratch my ears a little. I know. We each have to convince each other of our ideas and work together. That's what a relationship is. If you're always trying to convince somebody of your idea, making it their idea, it's not a relationship. It's just constant coercion. Tiring too. Not desirable. Anyhow, something to ponder, something to think about. I'm going to work with these guys a little bit more. And I will see you guys in the next one.